Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I am Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving. I don't know if I want to be a lawyer anymore. Mom of twins, four crazy rescue dogs, and a rescue cat who likes crafting her spare time. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message and it boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could use that. And if you're a returning friend, you already know the crazy you're in for, so grab your drinks, sit on back, and let's have at it. Yeah. I am burned out. Quite frankly, I am completely burned out. I am temporarily, at least, lost my faith in the court systems. I watched a judge literally throw things from the bench at an attorney today. What's sad is, it wasn't even about his client. The guy who needed the letters back, because he sent them directly to the judge's house. Can't do that. Happened to be standing next to him. Wasn't his client. And the judge threw them across the courtroom, essentially. And I can honestly say I've been in front of some pretty judges over my years. It happens. I certainly have my favorite judges. I know that sounds horrible to say, but I do. I think every attorney who has practiced, especially in more than one county, has judges that they just automatically prefer to be in their courtroom than over others. So then I got up and I presented my case. And which should have made the court case go away and us not have a trial. And the judge was like, well, I don't know that I believe your evidence. I don't believe that he didn't believe a sworn, notarized piece of paper mattered. I think part of the problem is that I am a solo practitioner, and while I have great help, please don't misunderstand me, I have great help. I could not be doing what I do if it wasn't for my office assistant or my office manager. I couldn't be doing what I'm doing without my intern. She's been absolutely amazing, and the fact that she's not even in law school and she's still doing the quality of work and figuring things out. And hell, the other day I learned from her. I did not know in bankruptcy court there's an exemption called the church pew exemption. Never heard of that. Not only did she know it existed, learn that it existed, she researched how it applied to see if maybe we could do it to exempt a few more things from my client. Girl, you are going to make one hell of an attorney when you are done with law school. The fact that you go that, blown away by her so far, seriously, which is great. But there's still so much that I can't pass off to somebody else to work on. And the other part of that is I don't have somebody who has a bar card to bounce ideas off of, and I think that's really starting to be a struggle for me on some things. I really, that is one thing that I do miss from having my business partner before, is having that ability to banter ideas off of. And so I'm going to have to, I think this week I'm going to reach out to our bar association and a couple friends and see if I can't really hone in on that. I have it for criminal matters. I have a great guy, because we're co-counsel, and he's helped me on a couple things. Um, he's just extremely busy, so nailing him down on time gets a little tricky. Excuse me, my dogs are arguing with each other or getting mouthy. I don't know what the hell they're doing. If it's a, even if it's a probate matter, I do have somebody I could turn to, and a couple other things. But in general, what I found is a lot of my lawyer friends will run ideas past me, and I don't know why that is. Like I'm not and the all and be all on subjects. Like there's a lot I don't know. But it is very nice. So I think I do need to spend some time sort of building that round table on some issues, just so again I have some. I don't know. But right now I'm just hardened. I'm still sick. I can't it's just and I think that's part of it is it's like one thing piling on the other. So we finally got Elmo fixed. My friend Sarah came over and helped me wrench on him, and we replaced it. And now all of a sudden it's working. But the mechanic that I literally, when I tell you I spent $3,000 plus on getting a rental, and then on the parts and stuff that we've already replaced. And now I'm starting to second guess that we even needed to replace those because what he's saying is causing the issues. Sarah's like, that makes no sense. She's like run it past her mechanic because Sarah does a lot of her own like repairs on her Jeep, and if she can't, she's a guy who's actually written papers and gone and defended them against like, hey Jeep, why can't you fix this? This is the problem, kind of thing. And he got on like video chat with us, and we're walking through, and he's like, yeah, that guy doesn't know what he's doing and doesn't know what that doesn't make sense. So we fix what we think is wrong, and Elbo's been running fine. So this guy is like saying, oh no, there's a 40% restocking fee. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that number is illegal. It is. It is. And I didn't tell him to order them from his part guy out of state. I was willing to pay the extra money to have them here locally, because if I return something to O'Reilly's or something, they don't generally charge me a restocking fee. He's trying to tell me that they want 40% restocking fee and not going to cover any of my shipping. I get the shipping because, but again, I asked him to buy local. Because there's a warranty on this, how am I supposed to do anything about it? Like, if it's not local. Like, that's not what I asked for. And he didn't tell me that there was going to be a restocking fee or whatever. So we may be going to court with him. Because $550 is a lot of money. And I'm just crabby. Yeah. So, I don't have any haul. I need to go get the DMC to keep working on Wizard of Oz. That's kind of at a standstill. But I did do some stitching. So let's get into that. So first up, my little bag is now open on both ends. It only seals on one though. I know. It's a special sort of magic. I have been working on Autumn Sheep. I don't know what kicked into me. Okay, so here's the other part of this. Oh, I gotta pay that tomorrow. Forget. Remind me. I'll be at the courthouse. I'll just pay it. William started his new job. He left the barbecue place. He's now a line cook at this bougie restaurant that looks super cute, and honestly, from some of the food that he's brought home, it's delicious. Which is good because I was not really enjoying Brad's food. It was way over seasoned. Anyways, so I usually keep this in my purse, and William has been working. It's killing me, y'all. His schedule and my schedule is just killing me. So he is actually looking at driver's ed programs. So you'd think, because I tend to leave this one in my purse, that as I'm sitting at these restaurants waiting for my son, the other day I waited for over 2 hours, because I can't contact him in there, so it was kind of difficult, that I would be done with this and already on to the other one. Especially because it's also What the Flock Friday. And I'm doing a flock of sheep. Kim, who started it, the Snitch Stitcher, she is doing mostly flamingos. So you would think poor little Autumn Sheep would be done, because it's really not that big. Alas, poor little Autumn Sheep is not. But he is much closer to being done. Much, much closer. So I think I actually have just about all of his body done. I know I have all of the stitching for the squirrel done. No, I have just a little touch more on his hiney bottom here to fill in, and then I've got to fill in the little leaves. I'd like to tell you it will be done by next week. I don't think it will be. Absent a small miracle, because then I've got to do the little flag, 3 little flags across. Maybe by the end of the month, which is not that far off, but maybe. We can dare to dream. We can dare to dream. Let's dream. Let's dream, y'all. Want to dream with me? Okay. So we'll slide him in his little bag. And I'm going to go ahead, for shits and giggles, throw him in my purse, that he might actually get done. Stranger things have happened, y'all. Okay. So then I worked a little bit more on Pandemic, and I pulled it out one night, and the first 7 rows of stitches I put in, almost 200 stitches. I started at 1 over too far to the left. This is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. It's beautiful. I do love it. But ripping out 200 stitches just sucks. And there's no way to fudge it, because everything is built off of the other thing, and the lines and the symmetry. You can't fudge a Long Dog. You can't fudge most modern folk embroidery either. And it just kind of sucks. So they had to get ripped out. They have all been since replaced. For a long time, I was actually ahead of Julie. And Julie informed me the other night she's got 5 completed pages. Excuse me, ma'am. When did you get ahead of me? That is not acceptable. Kim has said she's going to restart hers, I believe. She's not enjoying her fabric. And when you're working on a piece this big, which is funny because Kim is not known for working on huge pieces, but the other part of that is Kim won't do a full coverage. I'm like, you're doing Pandemic. It's just like a small step to the right to do a full coverage at that point. But alas, that's on Kim. That's not, like, I'm not going to hate her for it. Stitch what you want. I'll support it. I don't care. I may not stitch it. I may not hang it at my house. But I'm going to cheer you on stitching it. Absolutely. So, I have started page, no, I have 2 pages absolutely finished. I'm working on page 3. It's 5 across. So I have a little bit on page 4. Actually, I have a lot on page 4 done. And a touch bit on page 5. And then I'm almost to the halfway point on page 6. So, I mean, I'm not that far behind Julie, but mostly because I've been focusing on Modern Folk Embroidery's Fruits of Plenty sale. But I am over 20% right now on Pandemic. Now, B, Crafty Stitchy B on Flosstube, she figured out, because I'm doing the negative space as well. You heard that right. She does have the total stitch count that will be done as a full coverage. I don't have it. And it is more than just doubling the brown, in my case, the tan. But this is where we're at. Okay, see, we're filling in the blue. Okay, so if you come in with me here, I have been really focused in on this portion in here. And so I had stitched all of this down, and it all had to come back out. Yay me! Yay me! It's all back in, plus a little bit more, so that's exciting. So, it's nice to have this out and working on it again. I will be honest, I really do enjoy the piece. We also worked on Jeep Van Gogh, because why not? So, no, maybe I lied. I haven't done that much stitching, and it's hard to remember because they're in my pile here. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't think we did. But I love this piece so much, so everybody can enjoy it some more. Because we're working on the Jeep part. Okay, so one piece I know I've been working my buttocks off on is Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty. Now, if you recall, for WIPGO this month, my person's drawn, because I'm doing my board a little bit different. Go back in previous episodes if you want to understand it. My two people that got pulled this morning on the numbers, not this morning, this month on the numbers are myself and Denise from Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. Denise wanted me to work on Fruits of Plenty. I am super close. Well, okay, I'm pretty close to a finish on this. I am at 85.39% left. It is less than 6,000 stitches at this point. Not much less, but still less than 6,000 stitches. Which sounds like a god-awful lot, doesn't it? But in the grand scheme of things, from where we started, it's not bad. It's not bad. So I have figured out that everything is now lining up. So I don't know how this got off in the center. I don't know. But everything else is lining up. So I don't care. If you're going to come to my house and you're going to get pissy that my pot isn't exactly centered and that my little thing doesn't come to a one stitch square, guess where you're going to end up? On a ditch. Or on the island between north and southbound 131 in the middle of the winter. Well, I shouldn't say in the middle of the winter. Right before we get a big snowstorm. That's where your body's going to be.
That is weirdly specific.
I'm just saying. Don't criticize other people's mistakes. If it can't be solved with 5 minutes worth of effort, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. If the police are involved, you don't even get 5 minutes. You just keep your mouth shut. These are rules. The other rule that we started today in my office, if your water breaks and you go into late and you have a baby, if your water breaks or you actually have the baby in my office, I get to name your baby.
Things you never thought you'd make a rule.
I literally timed this client's contractions today while talking to her, and I finally said to her mother, who was with her, you really need to take her to a labor delivery room and have her checked. She's due on the 8th of July. That's not that far away. Her contractions were 5 minutes apart. I was timing them. Come to find out, Dad, who's a jackhole, wants one name, and she's like, never in a million years would that ever be this child's name. So she doesn't really have a name picked out. And I said, well, again, if your water breaks standing in my office or sitting in my office, because at that point I got to throw out a chair. Not only are you getting billed for my chair, I get to name this kid. And she goes, well, what would you name it? And I said, well, given that at one point I wanted to name the twins when we first found out we were pregnant, and I was still in law school, I said I offered to name the kids Liberty and Justice. And my mother kept going, for all is going to be their middle name, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, think about it. If you had a little girl, first of all, the story that you gave birth to her in your lawyer's office is freaking magnificent. Second of all, that you then named your daughter Liberty, because, hello. Ooh, I could have crackers. Probably it's been that day. I think Liberty, and then just nicknaming her Libby, would be 5 stars. Do you not agree? I think that's bloody fantastic. So I threw in my name. So we'll see what she names the baby. Anyways, I digress. Clearly. Squirrel! Okay. So we're down to this last little bit. This will stay with the gray and black. I know, and I had been debating on the flower colors here, but then I looked up top. So it will still all match. All of those little sections are black and gray. And the top portion here is the black and gray. So it doesn't, in my brain, it doesn't make sense to make them color on the bottom and not on the top. Like, hello, we're not that one show. What is that? B is probably yelling at me. B knows the show I'm talking about. Jim Carrey started it. The Truman Show. Where everything's black and white in his world, but then he realizes outside of his TV studio, everything is color. We don't have that going on here. No Truman Show. So, technically I have put in the 500 stitches from Denise, for Denise's goal. But I'm going to try and push, I'm still pushing to get a finish on this one. Ideally by the end of the month. I don't know that that's going to happen. Unless I have a nervous breakdown and they still let me stitch. That may happen. But we'll be pretty close. And then again, we'll push for pandemic. Ideally, we'd get pandemic to 50% and then finish pandemic next year. At least all the tan stitching. That's all of my stitching. And that's okay. Let me double check. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should. I post lots of funness on my Instagram. But that's where, like, on a daily, if I stitch on something during the day, that is what we, no, I did not work on Lady Justice this last week. Kind of sad, because I love her too, and she's getting closer to a finish. Instagram, I try to post every day that when I stitch, what I stitched. I also, once I go back to biking, I did get a new bike stand, and my bike stand connects to the internet, to Zwift. So I'm super excited. And my friend Sarah, who helped me fix Elmo, is going to help me with a bunch of household organizing, cleaning, and setting up routines. That's her jam. And I'm super, super excited. I know I sounded whiny when I started, and I am whiny. I am. But really and truly, if I look at the bigger picture and I sort of back away, life is really good. Life is really good. I have an amazing support network. I have amazing staff. I have amazing friends. And at the bottom of the day, I still have 2 amazing kids who have put up with a lot and are stepping up when they need. They are stepping up, and we're getting there. They're late bloomers. We're just gonna go with that, and that's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go so you can go to the next Flosstube. But yeah, don't worry about me. Honestly, everything is gonna be okay. I'm gonna take a nap. Well, actually, I'm not. I'm going to go to bed soon. I'm gonna actually do some stitching. I have to call one more client back. I'm gonna do some more stitching, or I'm going to do some stitching because I haven't stitched at all. I don't even think I stitched yesterday. Now that I think about it, I don't know. But I'm gonna take those few minutes for me to sort of decompress. I may look in the refrigerator to see if I have a bottle of wine. I may have a glass of wine. So, that being said, remember, you are smart. And you are beautiful. You are cherished. And you are strong. You are loved. You are needed. You are wanted. And mostly, you matter. With that, I'm going to let you go. And I will see you next week. I will try to tag. Well, Kim, you guys should know that I've tagged her several times. I'll try to grab B's information and pop that down. And I know I've tagged Denise before. I know she's still working on trying to come up with like a personal goal. I know at first she struggled, and that's when my friends seem to either nail it right away, or they're like, I don't know what will help. And I'm like, right now, honestly, yeah, it could be as simple as, girlfriend, go drink a glass of water. You're dehydrated. Probably true. I've been running on Diet Coke and snacks. Or go have lunch with a girlfriend that you haven't seen. They don't have to be huge goals. So we'll see what she comes up. I'm excited to see what she comes up with. I think that puts me almost caught up on Whip Go. Honestly, my goal was 500 stitches on Jeep Van Gogh. So I think I do still need to do Jeep Van Gogh. And then I was supposed to go have a massage, but that got canceled. So I may need to, but I bought the bike trainer. So I think my goal is actually to work on Jeep Van Gogh and to get the bike trainer hooked up. So with that, again, I'm going to let you go, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.